Bob Coons. I have visited detainees at Mesa Verde Detention Center for the past 8 years. All those I have visited recently were transferred to the new Cal City facility. After numerous frustrating days trying to arrange a visit on September 28th, we were able to achieve that. After 3 hours of waiting, myself and 3 other volunteers were able to communicate with detainees. I'd like to share their trauma in their own words. Quote, "We were transferred from Mesa Verde on an unexpected, unprecedented move without warning. The process was so overwhelming that many of us are traumatized from the experience. We want to express how stressful and how unnecessary the corporal punishment we have endured at this institution since ICE has allowed CoreCivic to operate as a prison. There are people whose medication have not been provided and has been thrown away by the warden's orders. It is hard to describe the detainees' pain who have been yelled at and punished for trying to get their property and legal documents. People have gotten their commissary items from which they purchased at Mesa Verde thrown away. We have had little time out of our cells due to excessive lockdowns and counts, confining us up to 17+ hours daily in our cells. The drinking water is straight from the sink. We don't know where it's coming from. It is not filtered, and when turned on, white chemicals come out of the faucet. The recreation yard is all rubble and rocks. It has no water and no restroom access," unquote. CoreCivic's Cal City facility is essentially functioning as a level 3 or 4 prison. Previously, it was shut down by a lawsuit over inhumane conditions and chemicals causing defects and cancer to inmates. CoreCivic is a for-profit private prison administrator, which is charging the United States government approximately $350 a day per detainee. We as taxpayers are footing this bill and contributing to its COO's salary over $7.4 million last year. We are asking the Board of Supervisors to direct the Kern County Health Department to inspect, intercede, and hopefully bring about changes to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of these suffering men and women.
Hello, my name is Alejandra Perez, and I'm a volunteer with Quasi. And when I first heard about what Quasi was doing, going to visit places like Mesa Verde or McFarland, I thought, well, I'm not sure whether I really want to do this, until I understood that these people were detained only because of their migratory status, that they were not serving sentences as part of their detention, that they were just waiting for their court cases and their appeals and the paperwork to become legal and to have bonds and be reunited with their families. So I agreed to help Eddie because he doesn't speak Spanish, but I do. And so I could interpret for him and he could speak to detainees. And in doing so, I was privileged to meet a lot of the people that are there. And one of the people that I would like you to meet is a wife of one of these detainees. She is attending college right now. She's almost done. She's almost done with her AA. And she has 3 kids. And because her husband is detained, she's had to sell all his truck and his business things to make ends meet. You know how you need the 2 salaries, right? So she's a U.S. citizen, and she's doing the best that she can. And it's been really nice meeting her, and I hope you hear her words. Thank you.
Sister Marie Frances Schrepfer. I am here today as another one painfully concerned about the ruthless care of our brothers and sisters in Kern County ICE facilities. Indeed, in ICE facilities all over the country. You have already read Eddie Lane's letter that he previously sent to you about the unconscionable conduct of facility personnel with respect to timely medical care, unsanitary conditions, and other inhumane treatment of our detained brothers and sisters. For example, the need to drink toilet water in order to slake one's thirst, or withholding medical treatment for 15 days from a detainee with a painful ear infection. The deliberate withholding of timely medical care from the suffering of another is an egregious act against the inherent God-given dignity conferred upon all persons without distinction. No matter who they are, where they are from, how they got here, or even what they have done once here. This inherent dignity can never be erased or taken away, and begs humane treatment, even in confinement. You may feel powerless to do anything about what goes on in those facilities under your purview, but you do have power. Senate Bill 1132 authorizes you to do so. And we are not asking you, we are begging you. Grab hold of that power and direct Kern County Department of Health to investigate in earnest the egregious and inhumane treatment of our suffering brothers and sisters. And so we ask you, in the name of God, in the name of the God of love, justice, and peace, do it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Nancy Bacon. That's Nancy, last name Bacon. I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist in Kern County. In my work as a pastor, I have visited multiple prisons in the state of California visiting inmates. One that I have visited the most over 10 years is a felon, and I can tell you that he does not get as many checks or confinement to his cells as the people in Cal City are getting. He's in for life. He deserves his sentence. But the people in Cal City are mostly not there as felons. Many of them are much more like your neighbors who came to your house and overstayed their welcome. They've not committed a felony. This makes a mockery of our rule of law. I just want to say that in my work as a marriage and family therapist, my specialty is in trauma. And it's not just the people that get locked up who are traumatized. For everybody locked up, we have good research that in the community there are numbers of other people also traumatized. And I want you to consider that as well, that just locking people up also affects our community. I humbly ask that you take a look at what is going on there, using your rule of justice, your morals, so that you can make a fair and just decision. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Tracy, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you. In April of 1945, the 4th Armored Division of the U.S. Army liberated the first concentration camp in Germany when they went to the town of Ohrdruf to force the German citizens to go and help with the appalling conditions at the concentration camp. The German people begged ignorance of anything that was going on. And I'm here to say to the 5 of you that you're in a very unfortunate position, because history is going to judge the 5 of you on how you respond to the appalling conditions in California City. Thank you very much.
My name is Gonzalo Santos, SANTOS. I come here when the issue of immigration pops up and people come from the community. In this case, people from the faith communities, which really moves my heart. I would never miss it. I'm a former professor at Cal State, and I'm here to witness this and encourage you to take a strong stand. I want to make a point here. I come here usually to scold you for your inactivity. I teach history, and I know how people are dragged by events, by historical catastrophes, to have to do things they otherwise didn't want to do. Abolish slavery is one of them. Took centuries. We are in the midst of a great contradiction in North America. It involves all the countries of the region, the Caribbean, Central America, Mexico, Canada, and the US. This contradiction has become a festering open wound in our society. We have a situation where at all levels of government, at all levels, from the municipal all the way to the federal, they are being caught by this contradiction. How do we handle, how do we grapple, how do we deal with human mobility that is not authorized by nation-state laws? This is getting completely out of hand and is beginning to spill over to the rights, to the liberties, to the well-being of American citizens, of Canadian citizens, of Mexican citizens. You have to understand you're being caught by this contradiction, whether you like it or not. And the longer you postpone taking a stand, the worse off we'll all be. And not to mention, as the last speaker mentioned, how are you going to come out looking in the history books? I just want to make the point that at this point you have the power. I was very surprised by the Cal Matters article that was published that actually referred to the passage of the law in California. It's called Senate Bill 1132, authorizing you to mandate inspections in immigration federal detention centers. You've had the power all along, not to mention the moral authority you've had ever since the Obama years when Mesa Verde was established. You could have spoken up. You did not. You have not spoken for something like 10 years. It is time. Events are upon you. You have egregious violations of human rights that you must deal with in your own county. You cannot excuse this any longer. You have to act. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Emma de la Rosa. I am a resident of District 3, Supervisor Flores' district, and I'm here in my own capacity. I am here to ask that, again, to reiterate what everyone is saying, to ask for your support and your actions to enforce the law that, in the authority that you have to send a county health inspector to the California City Core Civic Detention Center. Specifically, so you know, these county health officers can conduct inspections. They can determine how often these inspections have to be. They can expand investigative scope. You have heard from residents, from folks who have gone to these detention centers, who have spoken to residents in those detention centers, who have shared how poorly they are being treated and how poorly the center is being ran. So the county does have the authority to expand that investigative scope and also ensure compliance, right? I want to also say, Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Couch, Supervisor Perez, Supervisor Flores, Supervisor Parlier, you are all here, sitting up here today, because we have a democratic government. We have democracy, right? We are all, everyone in this room is able to elect the person of their choice. People from throughout the political spectrum can elect someone. I think you all have consciousness. I think you all are very smart people. Everyone in this room, I'm sure, are very smart people, and everyone knows the direction in which we're headed. Again, you're here because we have a democracy. I'm not sure if you're going to be here in a few years, because we might not have a democracy. And I'm just getting a little passionate and emotional thinking this and saying this. It's scary to even say it, to be honest. But regardless of whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or whatever you might be, for you and for folks in this room, we might not have that. We might not have that. And I'm asking you to please wake up. I'm asking everyone in this room to please wake up. We cannot let these things happen. We need to save our country. We need to save this red, white, and blue that we so love. Thank you.
My name is Eddie Lane. After visiting California City's ICE Core Civic Detention Center on September 26th, I'm heartsick. Human beings are being mistreated. I call upon this Board of Supervisors to direct the Kern County Department of Health to investigate health and safety conditions in this ICE facility, as is permitted by state law, SB 1132. Test the water. Test the air in the two-man cells. Review the medical and safety records and/or lack of them. Interview those detained privately. The County of Kern is responsible for the health and safety of all who reside in Kern County, not some, but all. The County of Kern would not permit Lerdo to deny human beings necessary physician-prescribed medications, permit unacceptably cold cells, permit regular body searches, including the groping of private parts, or permit a recreation yard of gravel having no restroom or available water. Yet the County of Kern is permitting this immoral mistreatment of human beings in California City, many of whom are simply asylum seekers or green card holders who were routinely reporting into ICE till a few months ago. I visited Carlos on September 26th. I visited him since April of 2024. He passed out on September 16th with a blood sugar level of 40, was taken to the hospital. Why? Because his medications had been taken from him, along with his needed back brace. Carlos, I was told to send him, I could send him 2 stamps and 2 envelopes. I did. Those were taken away. My request of you, one of my requests of you is come visit Carlos with me. Come with me. You'll never be the same after your visit. You will feel the scars of inhumanity in your heart. I've also visited Tule Lakes, California, and seen the boxcar-like structures used to incarcerate Japanese during World War II. 40 years later, the Reagan administration apologized. My prayer is it will not take 40 years for the United States, and yes, for this Kern County, to apologize for what's going on in Kern City, or in California City right now.
Madam Chair, can I jump?
Please, Supervisor Peters.
Thank you. I don't see our Director of Public Health in here, but maybe I'll refer this to our CAO and staff. I don't know if you have an answer right now, but it's my understanding that we're not just authorized to make an inspection under the new Senate Bill 1132. I believe that the language says we're required to inspect at least annually. Do you know if that's accurate or not?
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, thanks for the question. We were just notified that Public Health has issued a statement related to this issue today, probably from media inquiries, indicating that they are currently preparing to expand their inspection efforts to include additional detention facilities now covered under the law. So they're in the planning stages of that and hope to begin inspections in early 2026.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's some helpful background that might at least move the ball forward a little bit. And another thing I'll say, just may not be something that a lot of people want to hear, but it's the reality of the state of California is a lot of times they push down their responsibilities and the financial obligations down to the county for what should be state functions. Lots of times we see unfunded mandates that get pushed down on the county. And as Mr. Lane said, we do have an obligation to take care of our people, and that gets increasingly harder as the state continues to put demands on our budgets here. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not saying don't advocate here, but advocate at the state level that they're conducting inspections that you're out here championing. But like I said, by all means stay engaged, but it does sound like at least we're moving forward and there are plans in the works to begin those inspections. So thank you.
Supervisor Peters, thank you so much. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, chairs and board members. As I mentioned, my name is Alejandra Garcia. I'm also with Building Healthy Communities Kern. I'm not here to talk about morality, but about liability. We have a situation that should concern every person responsible for the physical health and legal standing of this county. When your lead health official willfully refuses to conduct oversight that paves the way for a perfect storm for a preventable tragedy, such as disease outbreaks or a wrongful death. And when that tragedy occurs, the fact that our county knew about the risk and chose not to act will be indefensible. This is an invitation for a costly and damaging litigation against Kern County. This board has the power to mitigate that risk. We urge you to protect the county and its residents by directing your health officer to do his job. conduct the inspection, document the condition. Do not wait for this crisis to act. Thank you.
Elizabeth Valencia, speaking on behalf of Building Healthy Communities, Kern. I am here today to address a serious concern with the lack of public health oversight in our county. As others have mentioned, there is serious medical neglect and abuse inside for-profit detention centers, including the Mesa Verde and Golden State Annex facilities here in Kern. These are not just anecdotes, these are documented patterns. It is especially concerning learning from federal court proceedings that Kern County's own public health officer, Dr. Christopher Leon, has stated he, quote, has no intention of inspecting, unquote, these facilities unless he is directly ordered to do so by the governor. This is unacceptable. The county's top health official is refusing to exercise his authority to ensure the health and safety of thousands of people within our jurisdiction. This refusal to even look at the problem creates a dangerous gap in accountability and puts lives at risk. The Board of Supervisors has direct oversight over the county's public health department. We are asking you to do your job. We urge you to direct the county's public health officer to conduct immediate and thorough inspections of these facilities. You have the authority, and we ask you to act. Thank you for your time.
Mi nombre es Laura González
My name is Laura Gonzalez,
y soy promotora y una trabajadora de Building Healthy Communities.
and I'm a promoter and a worker with Healthy Communities.
Como promotora, trabajo diariamente directamente con las familias de nuestro condado de Kern.
As a promoter, I work daily with the families in Kern County.
Nuestra comunidad confía en el condado, que en el condado nos protegerá.
The families have trust in the county to protect them.
Confiamos que nuestros doctores y nuestros líderes velarán por la salud de todos.
And we hope that our leaders and our doctors will support for the health of all.
Hoy, esa confianza está rota.
Today, that trust is broken.
Como han dicho mis colegas, nos hemos enterado de que el oficial de salud del condado de Kern se niega a inspeccionar los centros de detención de Mesa Verde y el Golden State.
As we have been informed by my colleagues, we know that the health director, he has denied the opportunity to inspect the facilities.
Él ha dicho que no tiene la intención de ver lo que está sucediendo adentro.
He has said that he has no intention of seeing what's happening in those facilities.
¿Cómo podernos sentirnos seguros?
How can we feel safe?
¿Cómo podemos confiar en nuestro sistema de salud local
How can we trust our health system?
si su propio líder decide ignorar a miles de personas
If the leader of the health system decides to ignore thousands of people
que están sufriendo en nuestro condado?
that are suffering in our county?
Esto envía un mensaje terrible,
This sends the wrong message.
que para el condado hay personas cuya salud simplemente no importa.
That in this county there are people whose health is not important.
Como la voz de la comunidad les ruego
As the voice of the community, I urge you
que restaure nuestra confianza en ustedes.
that restore the trust that we have in you.
Thank you.
My name is Reverend Dawn Wilder. I'm the pastor of Emmanuel Lutheran Church on Baker Street. And I've just submitted a letter that is being sent to Governor Newsom, Congress, and, submitted to you and several others, containing the words from detainees that have been deported and have shared their stories to the Mexican consulate. This letter is coming from the consulate to to you and them. Plus all of the stories that you have heard here today. These aren't fables. These are real human beings that are being denied essential medicine. They're being strip searched multiple times, confined for long hours without cause and treated with disregard that violates both human dignity and decency. Your banner behind you says, "In God we trust." You know, Scripture is clear. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. The people held in ICE detention are not less human, not less loved, not less sacred. How we treat them reveals who we really are. 2026, we may get enough funds. That's the value? Philip Peters?
I'm sorry.
What? How can you put so little value on human life?
Madam Chair, can I respond to that?
Please.
I am not sure what you're referring to about we may get enough funds in 2026.
That's what you said.
That is not what I said. I said the state of California continues to push financial obligations on us, yet we're required under this law to inspect, and I asked for clarification that we would be from the Kern Public Health Department, and our CAO's office confirmed that that was in the initial stages right now.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosa Lopez, Lopez, and I'm with District 3. Unfortunately, sad to see that my representative's out here to listen to his constituents, but not to repeat what my colleagues and the former speakers have said. This is not about a budget. This is not about what political party we associate with. This is about humanity. It's about human dignity. We've been here several times on different occasions just uplifting what's going on with immigration detentions and immigration enforcement across the country, and how we here in Kern County have allowed to be the dumping ground of private prisons. We have, I don't know if you know, we have 5 detention centers. 2 are activated, 3 are active. One is, we have 4, excuse me. 3 are currently active. 1 is ready to be populated. We have the capacity to hold over 5,000 people just in our county. And we know that when bed capacity increases, enforcement increases. So if we're not going to talk about whether or whatever you claim to say that you have no authority, or this is a federal issue, or this is, what we're here to plead with you is that there are state laws that gives you authority to investigate these concerns and the complaints that we're receiving from multiple detention centers, and more recently the California City one, which is the largest one in the state of California. It's not that the state is not allocating appropriate budgets, but it's because we have not appropriately addressed issues from our community. We invest almost 50% of our budget in criminalizing our community, policing, jailing, and monitoring them through probation. Almost 50% of our budget, of our general budget, goes into criminalizing our community. We cut the Department of Human Services, the Health Department budget this year, eliminating over several dozen positions. Where is our priorities? That just shows us that we are not interested in supporting or investing in community, but in profiting off corporations. Because who are running these detention centers? Billion-dollar private corporations who are only here for profit motivations. So please, listen to the stories and the testimonies that are being uplifted today.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to make comment today? Mr. Professor, you already spoke during public presentations.
I wonder if you would allow me to respond to Supervisor Peter in 1 minute.
It would really be against the rules, Professor, and I will get so much trouble for it. If Supervisor Peters would entertain a conversation with you, he can do that, but I cannot, sir, and I am so sorry.
If you allow me.
Okay.
By all means, sir.
Supervisor Peters, thank you for your indulgence. Professor, please come forward.
Thank you so much. Supervisor Peter, I understand you're acting in good faith when you say that sometimes there's unfunded mandates coming down from Sacramento that put a tremendous burden on the counties. I understand the point. Yet, there was a law passed in 2018 mandating the Attorney General to carry out those inspections. If this board had taken the stand then, and we're talking 2018, and send a strong statement that we request his intervention and inspection of Mesa Verde, we would have had that happen if you had asked for it. and it would have been funded by the state. You see, it's the lack of action that has put the burden now on you to act, because all these years have gone by. Thank you for allowing me to respond.
Thank you. And if I could just respond briefly,
Please,
but,
Supervisor.
so, again, I just want to be clear. I was asking because I know that we have an obligation to go out there and investigate and make sure we're in compliance. I was just simply making the point that this is a state facility, state inspections, they're the ones that should be doing that work, and they continue to push stuff down onto the counties, so, thank you.
If I would like to say, Supervisor Peters' comments and referral to the CAO staff is the most action I've seen taken from this body, period. And I was surprised by it, frankly. I think it takes remarkable courage to ask for such a thing under the political conditions that we are all living with, which is quite hellish, as you know. So I want to thank my colleague, Supervisor Peters. We come from very different worlds, very different political realities, but I really admire and respect that you have spoken up and asked for some clarity from this body. I don't think that that was easy, nor do I think is this going to be easy moving forward. I would like to request an opportunity to meet with you all so that we can talk about what we learned back from county per Supervisor Peters' referral. Or requests from the CAO. That way we can get on the same page about timeline and get some clarity here. Please know that we are remarkably limited in what we can do under the circumstances. And I think you have some appreciation for that. And I can't tell you how meaningful and impactful it is that you're here. In particular, an expression of faith, an expression of love, an expression of dignity for our fellow brother and sister. As was stated earlier, wherever you may be from, wherever you may look like, whatever your condition may be, I think that's absolutely an expression of what those within the Christian faith, I understand that's not everyone, but certainly those that profess a Christian faith believe and assert. And so I want to say, as someone who also does, I appreciate that very much. And I appreciate the respect, the civility, and the love and compassion that drives you to be here today on your own time, on your own dime, and on your own accord. Again, Supervisor Peters, thank you for your leadership. Colleagues, I see a very difficult subject matter and a difficult time, but I think we can get some answers here and get the ball rolling. And I look forward to meeting with you all. Thank you, Professor. Good to see you. God bless you all in your remarkably humanitarian and love-oriented efforts. Thank you.